Hello! Welcome to another series of SkyeMorph's General Talk. My name is SkyeMorph. I am a art VTuber. I like to draw generally and also play games. This is a series called General Talk where I think of a topic and for a few minutes or so I'm going to be talking about a particular topic that's close to my heart. There is no game footage or nothing really much to see, so feel free to minimize the window and listen to what carry on with your daily activities like drawing or doing your homework while you listen to me talk about just generally my general thoughts on several topics of my choice. Today's topic I've decided to talk about is my one true love, my hobby that I love to do, and that is my art journey so far. So, if you haven't noticed, I am an artist VTuber, so I mostly stream me doing all sorts of art projects, illustrations, animations, webcomics, you name it. That's my aim of being this artist VTuber, just to show my creative processes. But generally, my journey of being an artist has been a very long journey indeed. I mean, it sounds really cliche in my opinion, but my journey as an artist obviously began when I was a child and I got into anime. That's also not another surprise because, as you can tell from my VTuber form, and if you've seen any of my artworks, I do a lot of anime style artwork, and of course it always begins with Japan and anime. I mean, I might talk about my anime experiences and anime preferences like in another video, but to keep it short, I got into anime probably like many other people around, like Pokemon, of course, who can't forget Pokemon. I was into Pokemon like the anime in the past, and also Evangelion, so, you know, the classics. And I guess I really just like the anime art style, and I believe I really got inspired by the way that the Japanese really focus on their art and their storytelling and the heart of the characters. I really got influenced that, and that slowly motivated me to draw more art. And that kind of happened from a very young age. Like when I was about 10 or 12 years old, I started to like draw. But generally I wanted to draw like my own characters. So I just wanted to draw my own characters, my own stories. I think that's what I was doing. Maybe also doing some fan arts and stuff. So that kind of started. And I believe when I was in primary school, or kind of like middle school, so the school that happens before you go to college, I was really into my drawing anime phase. Mostly, I was probably back then, like, knowing anime, I think you've heard this before, like, being kind of like an anime fan is kind of like geeky and nerdy and uncool, and I probably, like, out of all the people, I probably was the only one who liked anime and manga and stuff. You know, like, nowadays it's quite different with anime and manga being so widely known worldwide, just like similar to games and stuff. But back then, when I was like a child, like a kid, it wasn't really that popular at all. And generally, I think I was known as like the person who liked to draw cartoons. And I kind of had like friends who were kind of like really liked my artwork. I don't know if I've ever drawn from them, but I've always been surrounded by people who have never really had any interest in art and any type of drawing. And usually they were like my friends and the people that I knew. But of course, you know, in my school I did art. There was art classes, and you know, also similar to like back then in the days, anime art wasn't really well favored and well liked by art teachers. they think that anime is like, false art, and it's not the true art, like still life and painting scenery. Don't get me wrong, I like to paint flowers and apple and fruits and sky and background. I actually really like drawing non-people objects. It's just people. I suck at drawing real life. Like, I really love drawing like anime. I can draw anime down to a T, copy anime styles and draw anime bodies and proportions like to an accurate T. I cannot draw a real person. The last portrait I did was horrible. Like, oh, it sucks. Like, made me want to puke. I never really went back into realism art after. The only form of realism art I like to do is I like to do object realism and like scenery, background realism. I really like doing that. So that's why sometimes my background artwork is nice and sometimes it's really bad. But I do like drawing objects and backgrounds as well as anime people. That's generally my niche. But of course, like in art school, I'd focus more on like drawing objects and drawing backgrounds and not drawing much people. There was, there was like some kind of like art snobs, and one actually really awesome artist who actually really supported my like love and idea of like anime art. She was cool. I think she's probably doing well as like a fashion designer. She's a cool artist. Like, I never really got to be friends with her, but she was really cool. She wrote a message for me, like on my card saying, "See you at the top." It was so cool. I think to this day I still really admire her. However, there was a group of 3 girls. I called them like the 3 snobbish art girls, who were also really good at realism, like human realism. But they really hated my style of anime art. I remembered when I was in like in art class. There's one girl in particular. She detested me. She hated me, and she probably hated me because I drew anime art, and that was it. She hated the idea of anime art. The other 2 girls kind of were okay, like her friends, but she really hated me. She thought I was a fraud and, the whole anime is not real art. Obviously, I didn't really become friends with her or anything like that. I don't think she saw me as a rival. She saw me as like a nuisance. Like, I kind of never really got to speak to her or her friends. I made her friends try to be friendly to her, but because they were like her friends, I didn't really want to be friends with them, and that was it. I never really knew what happened to them. I never really got in contact with them after that. Like, we kind of were just in the same art class. So in art class, I was kind of like not the best artist. I was kind of like average. I could, again, I said before, like object realism and backgrounds was my strength. I kind of played to that. But any realism, I suck. I probably tried to do realism and I just suck at it badly. I'm just not like a very good traditional artist. Like, I used to like draw on water paints and I used to do oil paints and stuff, and I just don't like it. Like, the only form of traditional art that I do is Copics. Like, I really like Copics. I really like using them because you can draw in shikishis and they've got special Copic paper. But as you can see from my form, digital art is just standard, who I am. Like, after primary school, I went to college. I tried to study art, but the problem is that my parents were starting to clash with my hobbies. In an ideal world, I would have like studied art at university, maybe. But sadly, my parents didn't really support my dream of art. Like, they said that I had to pick something else. Like, the whole phase of being a starving artist is like the norm. Like, if you choose to be an artist, you're gonna be poor, so you might as well pick another route. And yeah, I had to do that. I tried my best to study art in college, but it proved to be too time consuming for my other two topics. So I kind of picked 4 subjects when I was in college. I picked biology, chemistry, and IT, and art was the 4th one. But the other ones kind of got in the my art got in the way of like me trying to study for my other topics, because I also did like science. If I wasn't really a artist, I would have liked to have been a scientist. And I think science is kind of interesting. Yeah, it's true, you learn like a lot of things, but also you discover a lot of things, and it made me look really clever. So that's why I decided to study science. And I guess from science, it kind of stemmed on for me in university, to pick a university to do pharmacology, because out of all of the topics, pharmacology was the one that sounded the most interesting, because generally I wanted to know more about drugs, more about medicine, and generally I wanted to like wear a lab coat and look really smart. So generally I did kind of drift away from art in that terms. But I think after like that was like my years of a formal, being like my educational art period, because after I drifted off from art to do pharmacology, art became just a hobby. Like I never gave up on the art. I never gave up on art. After I went to university, I never gave up art. It's always been something that I drew as a hobby, and it kind of grew and it kept growing. The thing is that what I love about art, and I think it's just expressive creativity, and also the progress, the whole start to finish. It feels, I said it before, art feels like therapy to me. It feels like this therapeutic therapy for myself, where I like the whole progress of doing a sketch, doing the liner and doing the color, and then you get to see it go from a blank piece of canvas to eventually like a finished picture. And I'm always proud of what I draw. I look back at some of my art and I'm like, I can't believe I drew that. I can't believe that came from me, my own head, my own creations. It feels really rewarding. Like, I can't describe it. It's just really therapeutic. You get in the zone of doing the sketch and the line art and the coloring in, and I'm obsessed. I was like, I have to like finish it. I have to start it. I have to finish it. Sometimes I'm not the best because I start a lot of things and then I don't finish them. But I guess that's just, normal, right? I think most artists are like that. But the thing is that art has never left me. I've never quit art, ever. Maybe sometimes I've had periods where I can't do art as much because I'm studying for, other things. And I find that these days when I jump from, doing pharmacology to doing office work, and doing office work being a barista, I think art has never left me. I think it's always been a part of me. What I love is just being creative. I am super creative. I always daydream about my own scenarios and fan art scenarios and what can I draw, what can I create, and I love the whole process of it. And art is just generally, I think it's made me into a person of what I am. That's the thing. It's kind of sad, with AI art and people losing their expressive creativity just to create something really quick and cheap, and also stealing from other artists. So I'm not always, I am, as you can see, I'm not really supportive of AI whatsoever. But generally, my art journey, so far it's been a long one. I think I'm, I always think that I'm stagnating. My art style has kind of turned into this. It hasn't really developed much. In the future, I would love to improve my anatomy more. I probably want to, I still like cute things, and I like my cute art style, but one day I would like to, develop a more I want to draw handsome men. I always when I draw men, they're too cute. I really want to draw really handsome men. That's like probably one of my aims, is to like maybe move away slightly from the cute art style and try and draw more handsome men, you know. But still, I do like my art style. My art style has developed from this kind of like, I think it's still the same, like this really anime, cutesy, simplified. It's been inspired by several Japanese artists, mangakas that I really admire, but I think it's really turned out well. I think it's really like my style. It's very simple, it's not too complicated, but I really like drawing this way and coloring in this way. So yeah, I think that's about it for me talking about my art journey. So I hope you enjoyed that talk, and I think talking about my art journey has also triggered some ideas for some other topics of talk that I want to do as well. So I hope you can join me in this series of general talk where I talk about just general things that I want to talk about. And I hope to see you all again very soon. So that's it from me. Bye bye.